bullet journals, art projects, organized planner chic.
Well, hello! I welcome you to Organized Planner Chic. I'm Lucinda, and for today what we're going to do is make traveler's notebooks together. I make these for my Lucinda Dory Planners Etsy shop, and what we're going to do today is the ones that I make using recycled materials. Alright, let's get to it! Okay, now the first thing we need is a box from the grocery store that had any type of food in it. Alright, so this had some quinoa veggie burgers. And what we're going to do is cut off the tops and bottoms and one of the sides to make it, like a book. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And I use these compression gloves because my mom warned me and I didn't listen, but I do a lot of cutting and hand stitching, and she told me that if I didn't get some compression gloves, I was going to wind up having pins and needles, which I did one time in the shower, and it was so incredibly painful that immediately when I got out of the shower, went to the store. I went to Joann's and got these. You can get these online as well, but they just keep you from having those kinds of problems. So, and I don't know how that compression stuff works. If anybody knows, let me know. Put it in the comments below. That'd be awesome. But they do work. I have not had pins and needles ever since then. Now, because I never take my ring off, it's made that hole there. So it'd probably be even better if it weren't for that. So I'm just going to speed up and cut this out. Okay, and then this is what you are left with, okay, just like a little book. And then to determine which size traveler's notebook I'm going to make, I have templates for all the different sizes that I sell in my Etsy shop, and I just kind of put a template up against there, which here's one. This used to be a box of cereal. And then I just put it up against where the fold is to help me see. So this one I already kind of measured out, and I knew it's tall enough to do some other sizes, but it's not wide enough. So this is a pocket size field notes template. And so then I just kind of clip this around there, and then right here where the fold is, and then I'll cut that, and then I'll move it over. Actually, I'll trace it, and then I'll cut it, and then I'll move it over. Alright, now we actually have the traveler's notebook without any decorations or painting or anything to work with. Okay, now it is time to paint, and what I have here I'll show you is just an easel, but it's too tall or too big for the size that I'm painting, and I don't have a small enough easel. So what I did was I just cut out a piece of corrugated cardboard and laminated it basically with contact paper, and then I just took some washi tape to hold this on there because clamps still aren't big enough. I guess I could buy some that are big enough online to hold it in place. Plus I want to paint all around the edges, and then whatever excess gets on here, then I just wipe it off of the laminated cardboard. Alright, so we're going to use this beautiful brush that I just love. Isn't this so pretty? It's so pretty. Alright, so I'm just going to paint to some music. Okay, now I have wiped off the board and put it back on, put the traveler's notebook back on there with washi tape so I can do a couple more coats, probably at least one more coat. I think I almost always do 2 more just because I feel more comfortable. And by the way, I'm just using some acrylic, some craft, there you go, craft acrylic paint. You can use any acrylic paint you want for this. So, and for the inside, because it was just plain cardboard, you can use any color. White goes on well. Everything goes on well because you don't have anything you're trying to cover up. But I'll show you how we'll do it on the front side. All right, so I'm going to do a couple more coats of this, and then we'll flip it over, and we'll work on the front side. Okay, now I have completed 2 coats on the other side, which is the inside of the box. And so now we're on the outside, and it can be harder to cover the outside because it's got all the printing on it. If you're using a darker color, then it's usually not an issue. It just depends on the paint that you're using. So to make sure I have a neutral surface so I can do whatever I want with it without any issues, then I'm going to put on there this, which is some white gesso. This one is by Artist Loft, and it's just going to make it a white surface. Now you can use white paint to do this also, but it would take a lot of coats, or at least 2 or 3 coats, and with this I'm only going to need 1 coat. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready to apply that. I'm going to use a different brush just because and then I'm just going to put some. Now, whenever you do this side, oh gosh, that's a lot thinner than I thought it was going to be. There we go. All right. So then whenever you use this side, like you see how there's some purple spillage here from the front? Well, that's okay because we knew we were going to cover this side. But so I didn't have the washi tape or artist tape. And again, I'm doing that because my easel is way bigger than my art. But that didn't matter. When I was using the washi tape, I didn't make sure the edges were completely down and everything. But on this side, it matters because I don't want any of that white to go around the front or the inside. And so I'm going to be a little more precise around the edges. It's okay if it gets to the very edge because you've kind of got that little edge on the side. I just don't want it to get on the back. But this, I guess this is going to take a little more coats, and I thought it was thicker than what it is. Well, as you can see, I wasn't quite as precise as I intended, but the main thing was not to not have anything spill over at all, as I said, because you have that edge there, but not to get too much over and not have the paint or the gesso too thick, because then doing that gives it an opportunity to spill over. And plus, this is gesso and not paint, so it's not, it's fluid. I don't know, I got my hands all in the screen, so we'll let that dry and then we'll see if any of it spilled over, but we'll touch that up later. A little bit of touch up is no big deal, which you'll see as we go along. All right, we'll let that dry and then we'll put the coat on the inside. Also, I want to let you know that gesso also makes your surface a little more matte if it's got some gloss to it, which a lot of the boxes do have kind of a satin finish. All right, well, let's let that dry. Okay, so now that's completely dry, and as you can see, it didn't 100% cover everything, but mostly, and that's all you need. And so I'm going to go ahead and apply the outside color, which is a more neutral color, because I'm going to Mod Podge the outside, some other artwork that I did. And it has a lot of color, and so I don't want this to conflict with that color. So I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay, there is a step that I completely forgot to do, and that is, you see right here in this part in the middle where it's got this part where you can tell that it was glued together. Well, I always want to reinforce that, even though, I mean, it'll stay, but I just feel more comfortable reinforcing it. And so what I do is I take some masking tape, just some masking tape, and I wrap it around the inside, and then I paint over it, which I would have painted after I did that, before I did the other paint, but I forgot to do that step, which is easy to do when you're filming, you know, a process or tutorial video. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap some tape, and I'll show you after I wrap this one, the bigger one that I'm going to be doing that's behind me here on the screen, or right here, because I have some wider masking tape for that one. Okay, now this is what those two pieces look like. So let's start with the back, or the outside. So here's the outside right now of this one, the pocket size, and then here is the inside. Okay, I love the way it feels. It just feels almost like cloth after it's been painted that way. Okay, and then here, let me show you the other one so far. Oops. Get that. And there's the larger one, which will be the wider personal or wider standard size. Okay. All right, now we're going to go ahead and start painting on the smaller one for the decor. Okay, now on this other one, the one with the purple cover on the outside, I am going to be Mod Podging this, but I wanted to see you kind of how this came together. Oh gosh, my hands look giant. Screen right now, it's really close up. Okay, so I drew this in my Stylogy notebook, and before I watercolored it, I photocopied it onto some mixed media paper, which was this, and then I used my new, oh my gosh, I can't even think of the name of my markers, but I used my new Touch New faux Copic markers to color it in. But because whenever I photocopy it, because it's folded right here, then there's this line, because I went, over the side, because I didn't know I was going to like this so much and want to use it on anything. So the line photocopied. So what I'm going to do first is kind of draw, like a stem with some leaves, and see if that will work, so that I can Mod Podge this to the front of my, recycled traveler's notebook, and see how it turns out. If it doesn't turn out good enough, or if it can't sell or something, then I'll just keep this for myself because I love it. But hopefully it will work out and someone else can enjoy this. So I'm going to move this, stuff out of the way, and reposition my camera and see if I can make that look like something. So I'm using a Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen, which will not smear, and alcohol markers should not smear with the Mod Podge that we're going to be using. Okay, now I need to make sure that this ink completely dries so that it won't smear. Then I'm going to Mod Podge it, the back on the front, and right here where the line is where it'll go on the fold of the cover, which I'll show you that. So we'll do that next. Okay, actually I'm going to Mod Podge the inside of this one first while the ink dries on the other one. And now I'm going to do a coat on the inside of the other one. Okay, now that's how this one looks so far. Here's the front, and here is that was the outside, and here's the inside. And I think it looks pretty. Okay, so I marked where I'm going to put the holes. I don't know if you can see them. Let me see if I bring it up really close. You can kind of see right here. There is a hole place marked there, and there. And then right here. And I just measured them. I measured halfway down and halfway to the center for the middle hole, and just divided in half for the other sides to put the holes in. So I'm using an awl, which I bought this one at Hobby Lobby a long time ago, and then when I was out of town and needed one in Colorado Springs, that Hobby Lobby no longer carried these. They were used to be in the leather section. But you can order them online. I've also ordered one online before. Okay, so then I'm going to, and I don't have the best eyesight, so I need to get close on this without freaking you guys out. Okay, now it's time to run elastic through. And voila, there we have it. There's the inside. That's upside down. There's the outside. There's the back, or the, side. And then here it is closed. Let's close it. All right, so there is that one. And then this other one, I already put the elastics and everything in. There's the front, and there's the back, and there's the side. Now on this one, I put the holes, punched the holes through from the outside instead of the inside, so it has a different, more rough, jagged look. And then there's the inside of that one. I guess it should let you have your own space, right? There you go. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you haven't already, all my subscribers get an additional discount from my Lucinda Dory Planners Etsy shop, and that discount is in the comments below, and there's a new one every month. And be sure and check out my Organized Planner Chic Crew Facebook group, where you get freebies and giveaways. And until next time, everyone, happy planning!